And the first thing we're going to get into in today's show is the NBA playoffs. Tanner, that's the talk of the town. That's what's dominating the headlines. And we have had some really great series. Now, this show is coming out on Wednesday, but we're recording Tuesday morning. I think every game is going to have, or every series is going to have played 2 games by the time this comes out. Is that true, or are there going to be a couple? I don't know. But anyway, we're still in the early parts of the series. The first series that we're going to talk about, though, because it happened just about less than 12 hours since when we are recording this, the Sacramento Kings take a 2-0 series lead over the Golden State Warriors. Now, in this game, Steph Curry had a decent box score, 28.6 assists, but he had a lot of uncharacteristic and just very sloppy turnovers. It looked like he was mentally checked out. Draymond Green got ejected for stomping on Domantas Sabonis. Now, we're going to talk about this more in depth later, Tanner, but I'm just going to say right now, it was a bullshit play by Sabonis to grab his ankle like that. But then Draymond Green decided that he was actually at WrestleMania with Snoop Dogg and Logan Paul and everybody, and he wanted to show his audition. He wanted to give them his act. I tweeted that's a technical on Sabonis, and that's an ejection for Draymond. Bada boom, bada bing. That's what happened. Sabonis finished the game with 24 points, 9 rebounds. He tied for the most points on the Kings, but he really still hasn't been able to find his offense in this series. So I was actually surprised looking at the box score that he had, again, the tied for the team high. De'Aaron Fox, 24 points, 9 assists. Tanner, you told me that I was foolish for saying the Kings were going to win this series. Did you know that 93% of teams that go up 2-0 in the series go on to win the series? So I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but I think you're pinned up against the wall right now.
Now, Grant, did you know that 7% of teams that go down 2-0 come back and win a series? Did you know that? And
that's the math. Yes, that is the math.
Yeah. Golden State will be one of those teams, 7%. Listen, Grant, bottom line is we've known the whole season that the Warriors can't go on the road and win. In game 1, I actually picked the Kings, Grant, and you know that. I picked the Kings. Yep. I said it's their night to shine. They did that. Game 2, I was on the Warriors. I thought Golden State would bounce back because there were multiple times in game 1 where Golden State could have found a way to put Sacramento away, but credit to the Kings, they kept fighting. When I look at Golden State and I look at the sports book odds even, they're only plus 138 to win the series. Like, that's pretty short considering they're down 2-0. And like you tell me, they only have a 7% chance to win based on history. They're only plus 138. So I think we need to see how game 3 goes. If the Warriors come out on fire in game 3 and they can get a couple wins at home, I could see them stealing one on the road in Sacramento and still find a way to win this series. So I'm not saying this one's over yet. De'Aaron Fox has been amazing. Draymond Green, is he going to be able to play in the next game?
I don't think they're going to suspend him. The league would have to go and suspend him for the next game. I don't think it was heinous enough for that to happen. He got suspended for game 6 of the NBA Finals in 2016, the year they blew the 3-1 to the Cavs. But that was because he very clearly and deliberately kicked, forget who it was, but he kicked somebody in the nuts. I mean, stomping on the ribs is pretty bad, but he was provoked into it. You know, Sabonis had his ankle and there was no damage that came from it. So I don't think they're going to suspend him, but we're going to have to see.
After he was ejected, when he was like pumping up the crowd, that was awesome. Like that was sick. But that's the kind of thing too. Like, you know, Draymond's in the locker room, like, Sabonis grabbed my ankle. Let's whoop their ass tonight. Coming back to Golden State. Like, when this game does come back to Golden State, I'm curious who you're on in that one. I'm going to be on the Warriors. I think they sweep at home, and then we have a best of 3 game series, which should be very interesting. They're going to have to go on the road and win. But again, it was just very uncharacteristic of them last night. Like you said, Curry was good, 28.6 assists, but he just did some things that weren't really Steph Curry-like, and hopefully they can shut down De'Aaron Fox a little bit.
Well, Tanner, this is the problem that I'm having with the Warriors because, yeah, you're right. There's a saying in sports that a series doesn't start until the home team loses, right? That's just how it goes. That can hold true, and so, quote unquote, the series will never start, but the Kings are going to win. The Warriors, I've brought it up, and I'll add to it now that we have new information to update it with. They are 2-22 on the road against teams that are 500 or better. So if you're saying, can they go on the road and can they steal a game? Why would they be able to? What have they shown us that's going to allow them to do that? And flipping it on its head, this is an amazing stat, by the way. There are only 2 playoff teams in the Western Conference that had winning records on the road. One of them was the Clippers, the 5 seed, who were 21-20. The Kings were 24-17. So they are far and away the best road team in the Western Conference. And they're going to Oracle, which, while that is a hostile environment, it's like an hour and a half away from Sacramento. And we were talking about before game one, is there going to be a home court advantage for the Warriors in this series? It's not even been close. Those Kings fans have shown up and they've shown out. So do I think they're going to make their way over to Oracle? I absolutely think that they do. And from a pure stylistic standpoint, like when the Warriors want to score, the Kings have responded. When the Warriors have tried to play defense and make it scrappy and slow it down in the half court, the Kings have responded. When it's been the hustle plays, the Kings have been there. And this, above all, the entire Warriors dynasty, since they broke through and won the finals in 2015 for the first time, they've been built on runs. They can be down 20 points and they're not out of the game because they can just go Steph 3, Clay 3, Clay 3, Draymond layup, and then the game's within 4 points or whatever the math works out to be. The Kings have done that. They've used that exact formula. Every time their back's against the wall, they don't slow down. They don't panic. They just keep playing with pace. They get their shots up and they put together a 9-0 run, an 8-0 run. And they were behind double digits in the opener. They had a double digit lead, a 14-point lead that they gave up, and the game was tied in game two. And they surged right out of it. Like, the Warriors have not shown one area of basketball that they are better than the Kings at so far in this series.
I agree with that. I think the Kings have obviously looked like the aggressor in this series, but when you look at Golden State, you can't count them out. And I know they haven't been able to go on the road and win, Grant, this season, but they still have experience. And the Sacramento Kings are about to walk into a situation that a lot of these players have not been in over the course of their careers. This Kings team is an up-and-comer. They're going to face the big dogs. And if they beat them on their home floor, I will reconsider my pick for the series, but I still think Golden State cannot be counted out. Like that 7% stat you were talking about earlier. Yes, obviously that makes sense, but at the same time too, it's Golden State. They know how to win. They have Steph Curry. Some of the shots he's made in the series have been phenomenal, and they're predicated on runs. They can go on a run at any time. They can get hot at any time. And I think this series transitions back to Sacramento 2-2.
I could see it going 2-2, but even in that case, I'm still favoring the Kings, again, because they have home court. Do I think it's as lopsided as the 7%? No. In my mind, I'd say it's about 75-25 in favor of Sacramento. But I'm sure you'll agree with this. This has been the most entertaining NBA series to watch out of all the playoffs so far.
I've had fun watching the Knicks and the Cavs, even though it's only been one game so far. Like I've been high on the Knicks, especially because they're really good on the road. They're good as dogs. I think they're 500 as underdogs this season. The Cavs, they've been good at home, obviously, but New York's just been sensational on the road. So that's been kind of the series that I've been looking at. I've also been writing a lot of previews for that on WSN, but this has been a good one too.